I'm so glad I'm almost 50 years old. Like, I'm finna be 48 in a few weeks. Being this age has helped me not to get worked up over a lot of stuff that I used to would get worked up over. Because when you realize that a lot of this is, they always told us the world was a stage, and it is. Like, a huge performance. And a lot of the things that we look at on social media, even though it has the potential to impact people's lives, it's still a game to a lot of the people that we looking at on screen, because you have to understand that they haven't sold out, they done bought in. So they're a little bit more insulated from the harm that most of us go through as a result of narratives and things that they put out on the internet. They insulate themselves because they done bought into the system. And once you realize that a lot of the people who are speaking over your life and shaping narratives for you aren't even experiencing the same trauma or having the same lived experiences as you stop taking what you hear and see on the internet so serious. My scroll game is fire. Like, I used to have to comment on everything. I used to get stuck in rabbit holes. I used to get watch stuff and would just be pulled in by trauma porn, race baiting, transphobia, fear mongering within our own community. You know what I'm saying? People trying to box you in, trying to put labels on you, trying to tell you how you supposed to look, how you supposed to act if you identify. I used to let all of that get under my skin. But when I tell you my scroll game is fire now, oh, baby, with wisdom, that scroll game, that unfollow, that block, that delete, my goddess, God today. My goddess, God today. Because y'all be thinking I be saying God is God. No, I'm saying my goddess, God. Because I honor the mother and the father. Okay? That's the problem. A lot of us, we ain't whole. It's a lot of halfling stuff going on around here. And segueing into that, this is why the gay community, and when I say the gay community, because y'all say gay, like gay is inclusive of beings who identify as more feminine than masculine, uh, uh, beings who are resting in their femininity. And when I talk about femininity, I'm not talking about drag queens. I'm not talking about people who wear a whole bunch of makeup, who wear wigs. I'm not talking about being extremely flamboyant. When I was young and I wore a bald fade and boy clothes, I was still getting called she and ma'am because it was just something that was innately in me. It had nothing to do with an aesthetic. It had nothing to do with drag or performance. It's your essence. Some of us are born with it, and for others, maybe it's Maybelline. So when I talk about resting in your femininity, I mean just undeniably tethered to your foremothers and you standing 10 toes down on that. That's what I mean when I say femininity, to be clear, moving forward. Gay does not mean what it used to mean. Gay used to identify energy. It used to identify behavior. See, when I was a child, when someone called you gay, that meant that if you was born female, you acted like a man or a boy. That meant if you was born male, you acted like a female or a girl. That's not what gay means today. Gay is really, really centering beings who identify as men, beings who identify with patriarchy, and beings who really, really uphold patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? Like queer, we still questioning. Like I'll ride with queer though, but a lot of y'all use gay and queer interchangeably, like they're the same thing, and it's not. Cause all gay people don't really mess with the queer community, because when you start talking about queer, you start talking about non-binary, you start talking about trans people who don't live up to the expectations of gender roles. Like you start talking about people who blur gender lines and people who don't fit neatly into their boxes or their labels. So queer has the potential to really, really blur things. Gay is not a blur, you know. Gay is, even if you extremely feminine, even if you look queer, you still identifying with patriarchy. You're still upholding patriarchy. You still understand that this is a hegemonic, patriarchal, monotheistic society that centers a deity that subscribes to male pronouns. Understand me? Okay. So when we use gay and queer interchangeably, it's a very slippery slope for me politically. This is why I'm not centered in the gay community, because my message, my style of communication, my way of informing viewers, my way of connecting with people who gravitate to my frequency and what I'm putting out into the universe is something that has the potential to disrupt the system as it is. It has the potential to disrupt patriarchy. We have all of these. I saw, and I'm gonna give a sound example of this. I saw a video that Terrence Howard recently did talking about how men are not men if they're taking it. Basically, if you take it in your bum, you're not a man. And this kind of aligns with the rhetoric that Dr. Heavenly was saying, that something along the lines of gay men aren't real men. And nobody is having the conversation about how our gay male siblings, like how our gay male siblings are just fighting still, like after hundreds of years, like thousands. How long y'all gonna fight to be accepted and recognized as halflings? And let me break down halfling for you, because you come from seed and egg. You come from your mother and your father. You come from vagina and penis. Okay? How long are you going to fight to be recognized and respected as half of what you are? A lot of y'all look at transness as confusion, when in actuality, it's evolution. And everybody ain't got to physically transition. But can you at least transition in your mind? Evolve. Please. 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 I'm just so tired of seeing trans women, trans femmes, milling for gay men. Basically enabling the foolishness. Who literally are fighting to be recognized in a system that discards, diminishes, disrespects, and degrades, and treats femininity as something that is disposable, shameful, Like, when are you going to embrace being a whole manifestation? When are a lot of y'all going to get some new language to describe yourselves? Because it really just feels like this fight to have a seat at the table in cisness, in halflingness, is the real problem. And yes, the trans community is smaller. The non-binary community is smaller, but the gay community got numbers. And the gays, whether it's the lesbian side or whether it's the man side, y'all really obsessed with having a seat at the table with people who do not acknowledge their wholeness. Yet you're around here, if you're a lesbian, you're around here displaying behaviors that embody wholeness. You display masculinity, which comes from your paternal line, you would think, and you display energy that comes from your maternal line, which is your feminine side. The same thing with the gays. Y'all display energy that comes from your foremothers and your forefathers, yet y'all is so hungry for a seat at a table with people who are less evolved in their thinking, less evolved in their personal view of themselves, less conscious about who they are than you are. Some of us need to have a come to Jesus, Obatala, Oshun, Buddha, Yemaya, whoever it is that you're coming to, and admit that some of our obsession with the straight community is a little predatory. Because a lot of them are not as self-aware as we are. Clock it. And so it makes me question, why do you want the seat at the table? Because you know that deep down inside, these people, a lot of them are inferior to you, and so you want a seat at the table because you know that you can wow them, you could woo them, and you could surpass them. You know that you may have to come in bowing and scraping, but you know by the end of the game, you're going to be running the table like a spades game. You're going to run a Boston on them. Is that what the tea is? Like, I'm a beg for a seat at the table. I'm a bow and scrape. But baby, once I get to that table, I'm going to run a Boston on them. Is that what this tea is? We all ain't trying to beg and bow and scrape to sit at a table that is reductive of femininity, that disrespects femininity, that have our female siblings, our sisters, whether they're cis or trans, coming up missing. Don't nobody know where they at. People putting drugs on cards and money, and vans is pulling up, and they sex trafficking them, and y'all up here having conversations about Terrence Howard and what a real man is, and your manhood is based on you taking it in the booty or not. Like, who's still going crazy over a seat at that table? This is 2025. We have been on this planet I don't know how long, and we haven't evolved past the space of beings who born with male genitalia claiming this space that, oh, you're not a real man if you've been penetrated. But you have been penetrated, though. In the worst way. You done had white supremacy, colonialism, patriarchy run a train on your brain. Put 12 inches in your mind. You'd have 13 inches ran through your skull on a constant. Third eye can't open because it's swole from the spiritual phallic of the patriarch that's been running in that. This is why they don't center me in no gay conversations. At the end of the day, and I'm gonna sit up when I say this, At the end of the day, y'all can say, oh, they still see us all as men. They look at us all as men. I don't give a damn how they look at all of us. They don't see all of us as a threat to patriarchy. They don't see all of us as a threat to this system. And see, that y'all try to read me with that one. Oh, you could go and get your vagina. They still see you as a man. They still see you the same as me. No, they don't. They don't see y'all as a threat to patriarchy. They don't see y'all as a threat to this system. That's why they give you the platform that they give you. That's why your videos go viral. Because they don't see you as a threat. So regardless as to whether I was born with Ping or Noonie, you see what the art say? Your art will always expose where your heart is. I may never go viral with this message because I've been viral before years ago. I may never break through the algorithm with this message, but I'm working on somebody. I'm passing on something. Somebody gonna do it. Something that I've impacted, something that I've touched, something that I have reached will. And that's why I keep going. I'm going to keep standing on business. Because you ain't got to be filthy rich to stand on business. We're going to stretch and flex. We're going to stretch and flex on them. Lila Nation of over money and purple ones. Do rise. Rise, I said.